Welcome. Today, we're stepping away from just the history books and into something more immediate, more personal. We've gathered some, frankly, terrifying true stories. Accounts from people who've experienced things, well, things that defy easy explanation. Demonic contact, haunted places, curses. Our goal isn't just to relay these stories, but maybe to look for the patterns, the chilling threads that connect them.
Exactly. We've looked at accounts ranging from, seemingly ordinary childhood homes all the way to ancient castles with really dark histories. So yes, if you're here for deeply unsettling stories, you're in the right place. But we also want to explore what these encounters might tell us about these dark presences.
Okay, let's start with the first one. It's a really heavy account about a childhood deeply marked by some kind of inherited spiritual darkness. It begins with the house itself. Almost a cliche, really. Large, dark, damp, sitting on this hill with these huge, imposing oak trees, like something out of a movie.
And the location itself has a history, which is often key in these things. The narrator learned from an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Looker, that the house... well, it wasn't originally a family home. For about 20 years, it was actually a home for unwed mothers. So a place that saw a lot of intense emotion births, certainly deaths, and importantly, abortions.
Then it was sold in the 70s.
Wow. So right away, you have a foundation of intense trauma literally built into the place.
Places marked by that kind of profound suffering, especially around life and death, often seem to hold a kind of residual energy. Sensitive people might perceive that.
And inside this already charged house, the family situation was described as deeply dysfunctional. The mother struggled with severe mental illness, alcoholism, suicidal tendencies, bipolar disorder. Plus, the older sister was apparently heavily involved in the occult. Devil worshipping, the narrator mentions. It sounds like a perfect storm for, well, letting something in. It really does. Our sources often point to that combination. A location with residual energy, like the house, acting almost like a beacon. And then you have generational trauma or active spiritual exploration, like the sister's practices, potentially opening a door, a specific invitation almost.
And something definitely seemed to come through that door, focusing on the children. It's chilling. The narrator's very first memory and their dad, who didn't believe in this stuff, confirmed it happened, involved what sounds like, well, maybe possession. As a very young child, they just walked into the living room, completely blank-faced, shaking, and just kept repeating over and over for about an hour. Mommy needs help. She's fighting the devil across the street in a tunnel.
An hour.
An hour. Then they just snapped out of it. No memory of saying it at all.
The blankness, the dissociation, it does come up a lot in accounts of spiritual interference.
Yeah.
But then there was physical evidence.
Yeah, that's what makes it undeniable, really. Later that same night, the mother found these 3 awful burn marks on the narrator's shoulder. She described them very clearly as looking like the claws of a demon, distinct marks.
Okay, so not just psychological, something left a physical trace.
Exactly. And it seems whatever it was then turned its attention to the younger brother. His night terrors sound less like bad dreams and more like targeted torment. He'd wake up screaming, but then he'd just stand in the corner facing the wall, sometimes bang his head against it.
Facing the wall.
Yeah, and he'd repeat things like, "I'm sorry, God," or just say things that made no sense. It went on for a long time.
That specific behavior, the self-punishment, the distress directed inwards, it feels systematic, intelligent, not just random phenomena.
And it peaked with this one truly horrifying incident. They found the brother sitting Indian style on top of his dresser with his back to the mirror. He was covering his eyes, crying, saying, "No, I won't. You can't make me look."
To make him look where? In the mirror.
In the mirror. When they finally forced him to look at his reflection, he let out this blood-curdling scream and just passed out cold.
Like the entity was trying to make him afraid of his own self, his own body. That's deeply disturbing psychological manipulation.
And it wasn't just the dramatic stuff. There was this persistent, low-level haunting, too, almost designed to wear them down. The house had old plumbing, made this distinct whistling sound when the water ran. The narrator says they'd constantly wake up in the middle of the night to the sound of the faucet in the bathroom turned on, full blast.
In the dark.
Pitch dark. They'd have to sprint down this dark hallway to turn it off, heart pounding, only for it to happen again maybe an hour later. This went on for years.
Again, systematic. Establishing control, eroding their sense of safety, their sanity. It's not just about a quick scare.
Right. Now, fast forward quite a bit into the narrator's adulthood, and we get this really powerful external confirmation of just how bad that house was. They started dating someone described as an incredibly powerful medium, originally from Venezuela. Apparently, she was so sensitive, like seeing up to 30 ghosts trying to communicate at once, that her mother took her to a witch doctor in Zimbabwe.
To suppress her abilities.
Yes, to try and dampen them. The narrator mentions she had visible scars on her ankles, knees, and wrists from some kind of blood draining ceremony they performed.
Wow. Okay, so a very credible sensitive. What happened when she went near the old family home?
She didn't even really go in, just being near it, approaching it. She told the narrator she felt the most overwhelming sense of dread she had ever had in her life. That's strong. She absolutely refused to stay, wouldn't even go inside for a minute, said the place was just toxic. Even with her powers supposedly suppressed, she felt it intensely. Which brings us to this Ouija board session the narrator got drawn into years later. Their brother and his girlfriend had been using one. They'd contacted something calling itself AZ, claimed to be like omnipresent, everything. And it was nasty from the start. Violent, vulgar.
Typical Ouija session warnings often mention things like that.
Yeah, it spelled out kill mom at one point. It apparently knocked a crucifix right off the wall. The narrator was skeptical, but also, deeply disturbed given their history. They wanted proof.
The classic Ouija lemma, is it real or is it just people unconsciously moving the planchette? The ideomotor effect.
Exactly. So the narrator set up a test, a control, basically. They went into another room, wrote down a secret word, S-E-A. Came back, challenged A-Z to spell it. The planchette starts moving, goes to S. Then E. The narrator's heart is pounding, thinking, no way. Then instead of A, it slams over to X, changing the word to S-X-X.
Ugh. Intelligence and malice. A deliberate taunt.
Totally. The narrator cursed at it, and the planchette immediately went to sea and then just slid completely off the board, flew off, really, with a pretty strong force. It terrified their mom's cat, which had been asleep.
The physical movement, the force involved, and the independent reaction of the animal. It pushes it beyond simple psychology. That's external energy interacting.
Definitely. And after that initial, almost mocking display, AZ apparently spelled subsequent secret words the narrator thought of with, quote, ease and faster and faster. Proof enough for them.
Chilling. It confirms that intelligent, manipulative presence was still connected to the family years later.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From that inherited housebound darkness to something maybe more targeted. Intentional curses, physical objects. This story involves a doll. Bought at a yard sale in 2007, just part of a box of stuff for $2. Like hair and these creepy black line thread eyes. Just an odd little thing.
Sounds unassuming.
Until they looked closer. Underneath its little cotton dress, they found a long needle stuck right into the doll's body.
Oh, dear.
And on impulse, terrible curiosity, they pulled the needle out and then, maybe feeling weird about it, stuck it halfway back in.
That interaction. It sounds like activating something, like completing a circuit for a curse.
Seems like it, because immediately after, for 3 days straight, the narrator was violently ill, constant vomiting, couldn't keep anything down, missed a whole week of school.
A direct physical consequence, like sympathetic magic, targeting whoever interacted with the doll, or perhaps whoever the doll represented.
Right. They put the doll away after that, obviously freaked out. About a year later, a new friend came over, someone who was apparently a bit of a medium herself. She found the doll, picked it up, and immediately said it had bad vibes. Said it actually tingled to the touch for her. She insisted they had to get rid of it, burn it.
Makes sense. Destroying the vessel.
They tried, put it in their outdoor fire pit, but the little cotton dress, it just wouldn't burn. Seemed almost fireproof.
Resistance.
So the friend had an idea. They wrapped the doll tightly in paper, put it back in the fire pit. This time, it caught. As it was burning, the friend told the narrator they had to command the negative energy, the spirit, whatever it was, to leave. Out loud.
Like an exorcism. Intent matters. Directing the will against it.
The second the narrator did that, commanded it to leave, bam. The lights in the house instantly went out. Their alarm clock started blaring. It was 11 p.m. And an old Tamagotchi, one they hadn't touched in years, buried in a drawer somewhere, started beeping incredibly loudly.
A Tamagotchi.
Seriously.
Seriously. They said it wouldn't stop until they literally found it and stomped on it repeatedly until it finally broke. A massive, immediate burst of poltergeist-like activity.
The entity fighting back as its anchor was destroyed.
In the aftermath, there was this lingering smell of burning hair in the air. The next morning, they went to clean out the fire pit. All that was left where the doll had burned was a little pile of cheap colored beads from its dress and bundled tightly together. 5 rusty nails. Nails. often used in certain folk magic traditions for binding, for causing harm, for curses. Finding them bundled like that after burning the doll. That's confirmation.
And then, the family apparently went through a really rough patch over the next year. Father lost his job unexpectedly. Parents had to file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. The mother's car was totaled by a deer. Just a wave of serious misfortune.
It's like destroying the doll didn't destroy the curse, but maybe unleashed it, or redirected the bad luck it had been containing or focusing. A very cautionary tale about messing with cursed objects.
Absolutely. The fear isn't just tied to old houses or cursed dolls, though. Sometimes it seems to interact directly with our immediate environment, even our tech. Let's touch on this theme of energy manipulation, environmental and digital.
Yeah, we have a few quick but unsettling examples here that suggest entities can affect physics and, well, energy fields.
First up, a rental house. The narrator heard a young voice clearly yell, "Hello!" from the backyard. Nobody there, but their dog's ears perked right up. Definitely heard it too.
Animal reactions are often telling.
Then, same house. Their car was parked on a slanted driveway. The car door, which should have swung open downhill, instead slowly and firmly shut itself uphill, clicked shut, latched, defying gravity.
A clear physical anomaly. Unsettling.
And then the dog again. Lying calmly on the couch 1 minute, the next, its paw suddenly swelled up to 3 times its normal size. Huge swelling.
Injury. Bite.
Took it to the vet. No break, no bite, no infection, no discernible cause whatsoever. And then, just as strangely, the swelling went down completely within a day. Healed.
Bizarre. The narrator suggested maybe a younger spirit playing too rough, causing a temporary physical effect.
That was their theory. And it got this weird confirmation later. That same dog, a strong pit bull, apparently became obsessed on a walk one day. Dragged the owner relentlessly, pulling hard until they reached the specific, previously unknown cemetery. The dog went straight to one particular headstone, dated 1992-1994, and just rolled all over it like it was greeting an old friend. Then, just as casually, got up and walked back home as if nothing happened. Like it found the source of that playful, maybe slightly clumsy energy.
That's quite specific.
Yeah.
A young life ending in 94, matching the time frame. Yeah. Unusual validation.
Yeah. Okay, shifting to digital weirdness. Rockwood Mansion, apparently a known haunted spot. A photographer took pictures in an area that was roped off past a red velvet rope. Now, this person was meticulous about backups. So they had a 3-to-1 system, copies on their laptop, phone, tablet, external drive, iCloud, OneDrive, 7 locations total.
Redundant, very safe.
You'd think, but every single photo taken past that red velvet rope vanished completely from all 7 locations. Not deleted to the recycle bin, just gone. Wiped.
That suggests something beyond a simple glitch. If an entity can physically move a planchette or affect a car door, perhaps it can manipulate digital data too. Erase it like an anti-magnet for information captured in its space.
It's a chilling thought. And finally, on this energy theme, Wilton Castle in Ireland, built on confiscated Catholic land, has a brutal history involving Oliver Cromwell using it to, well, torture and butcher prisoners. Ghosts are said to roam there, mutilated and bloodied.
A place saturated in violence and pain.
And